I'm thinking baby oil. I'm thinking glitter. I'm thinking animatronic doves with human private parts.
Yes, that sounds like a party. What's up? It's the Huff. Hope you're having a great day. A lot to get into. Hope you're hopefully things are going great for you. Hopefully you have doves with animatronic private parts. That spells party. If you show up to a party and somebody has doves, that's your next question, right? Is do they have animatronic private parts? And if they say no, you know what? The door's right behind you. Head around. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I just was watching Bob's Burgers the other day, and I'm like, I gotta get that soundbite. It's so random. I love that show. But anyway, got a lot to get into. Cannot freaking wait. It's a brand new week, and shit, fucking Christmas is right around the corner. I'm not happy about that. I got to be honest. It's the most stressful month. I guess it's this in January because this one you're trying to figure out. Well, what could we afford to buy, especially if you have kids? And then the next month is why did we buy so much shit? Now we got to, pinch our pennies so much. Oh my god. It's already stressful. Come on. Kids don't need fucking gifts. They don't. Half the shit they're going to play with for like 2 days at the most, and then they're going to be like, "Yeah, I don't even know where that's at." Cuz you're going to go, "Hey, where's that thing that I bought you?" Or "Where's that thing that so and so bought you?" I don't know. Haven't seen it in like a month. Fuck. Could have saved some money. Remember the good old days? If you have kids, remember the good old days when you could just have a fancy box? It doesn't even have to be a fancy box. Fucking kids would play with it. Those were the golden ages of Christmas shopping. You just need a fucking box. You could put, I don't know, tissue paper in there. And then they're going to be like, ooh, dad, 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 dad. Right? And you're like, I won Christmas. I didn't spend a fucking dime. I found this old box in the dumpster. Just had to hose it off. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, hey, it's the holiday season. I, I am such a Grinch when it comes to that shit because it drives me nuts. When you have you ever bought somebody a gift, put a lot of thought into it, and then they're like, eh. or or somebody doesn't put a lot of thought and they get you something and you're like, why would you get me this? You don't it to the point where you're like, why would you buy me something that you're just like, is like you just had to buy something. I'd rather you just save your money and just, say, hey, happy holidays or Merry Christmas. I'm fine with that. Don't force a gift. Okay. Anyway, we don't need to go down that path. Maybe if you want, you can send me in the worst gifts or funniest gifts you've ever received, whether it's for your birthday or for the holidays. I think that we could have some fun with that. I have some of my own that they all stem from my brother. He's the best at giving inappropriate gifts. If you want to share those with me, please do so, and I'll share them with the world. DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com if you want to email it. If you just want to hit me up on my socials, either direct message or on my timeline at DeHuff Podcast, and we can have some fun with those. Speaking of fun, make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening or watching. And remember, today's show is presented to you by Kirkwall Group, as well as Game Time PDR, and of course, Bet Online. Bet Online continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL to UFC. Go to betonline.ag right now and don't forget to use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. It's BetOnline, the game starts here. I'm a little bit behind today. And the reason being, maybe if you've listened to this, you're not going to be too shocked. The fucking puppy, man. It's when I did this, it was about 25 degrees outside. I had to hose off the back stoop because the freaking puppy decided at like 1:30 this morning to drop a deuce on the stoop. She woke us up at like 1:30. Woke me up. Sorry, my wife was sound asleep. She doesn't even remember this. But I get up, take the dog out, and uh, I had to pee. So I go run to go pee, and then I come back and she's like jumping at the door, at the sliding door. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Then as I'm about to let her in, I look out there and I'm like, oh my God. While I was going to the bathroom, instead of her just walking her little happy ass to the grass, little bitch decides to take a dump on the stoop, the brick stoop. And as she's jumping for me to let her back in, she's like smushing the poo into the brick. I'm like, God dang it. So I do like a quick cleanup of her. And I'm looking at the stoop. I'm like, I don't have time for this. Not at 1:30 in the morning. So I just left it there. And basically, I kind of later came back out with a bag and scraped off as much as I could with the bag. And then after I dropped the kids off at school, I came back and had to, basically hose it off. And like I said, it was freezing ass cold. I'm like, you fucking dog. Thank God she's adorable. Between that and chowing down on her turds, my God. But otherwise, she's super smart. She's very trainable on everything except for don't eat your turds and quit pooping on the stoop. Fucking gross. So gross. But yeah, I'm like spraying it off, and it was so cold as the water is shooting out of the hose, because I had to reconnect the hose and everything. There was like ice building up, like slush hitting the wow, God. So sick. I hope you guys listen. If you want a puppy, people out there that they're like, "Oh, get a puppy. It's fun." In unless they're not potty trained, go to the shelter and get one that's already potty trained, because that's a big deal. Those puppies, those cats, they all need loving too, and they need a place to stay. Bypass the craziness. Yes, if you have the ability to do so, get a puppy as well. But I'm just saying, it's a huge fucking headache. My wife brought up to my kids, because my kids don't always see everything that like my wife and I do behind the scenes type of thing. And my son like was complaining because I was like, hey, can you go outside with the puppy to make sure she's pooping? Because we're still wanting to make sure she, doesn't have an accident in the house, and she's been good. Knock on wood. And he's like, oh, God, what? I just did it like 20 minutes ago. I was like, my wife's like, your dad gets up at like 1:00 in the morning and lets her out. And sometimes, he has to wipe out the kennel because she poops in the kennel. What do? You just sit outside waiting for her to poo. And then when she's done, you let her back in. Not that hard. Not that hard. Kids, my God. My God. I'm just saying, think about it before you have kids. Because you think puppies are tough, wait till you have kids. Anyway. Woo! Woo! That's why I'm running behind a little bit, because it took a little longer to scrub off the back porch. Anyway, you know what we need to do? Speaking of smeared shit, let's get into some headlines.
Let's go! Let's go! And now, here are the headlines.
This is impressive and disgusting, all wrapped up into one. Joey Chestnut. Joey Chestnut, I can appreciate the fact that you're the best competitive eater on the planet. But man, sometimes it just grosses me out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put down your shrimp cocktail. The winner with 21 pounds, a new world record of St. Elmo shrimp cocktail, Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, 21 pounds. He did that in 8 minutes. That's disgusting. Imagine, because I always talk about that, like there was a restaurant in Colorado. I'm sure there's other ones in Colorado and other places around the world that do this as well. But there was one, I think it was Jocks and Jill's. It used to be in Westminster, and they had a 7-pound burrito. And I always thought it was disgusting to have the mindset of sitting down for a meal, getting up to leave, knowing that you just gained 7 pounds. Joey Chestnut gained 21 pounds. And to make it worse, it's shrimp. That's not going to smell good on the ride home.
Smells like Bigfoot's dick.
Oh. No, it's not like, oh my God. The hell? It smells like Aquaman's ass. What the shit? That is not good. Not good. Impressive. But here's the other thing. It's 21 pounds of shrimp plus the cocktail sauce. So when you see the video, he's like shoving it in his mouth and there's like sauce everywhere. So you got that little bit of depending on the sauce, it might be a little bit spicy, but it's not just 21 pounds of shrimp. It's the cocktail sauce as well. But to do it in 8 minutes is just disturbing. And the fact that shit's going to come out and it's going to smell like toxic waste. I know that sounds disgusting. But let's call it what it is. Nobody's shit smells good. Does your shit smell good? If it does, I believe that actually means there's something wrong with you. Okay? I'm not a scientist. Did you tune into this program because you thought, Duff's a scientist. He knows his shit. Literally. No. If you did, you're in the wrong spot. You're looking for Neil deGrasse Tyson, okay? It's just down the way. Star Talk, good podcast if you're looking into some smart shit. But anyway, I just don't know why you would do that to your body. We were talking about what was the guy before Joey Chestnut? I can't think of his name. You're probably yelling it at your radio right now or your device right now. You're like, it's this guy. Oh my God, I can't think of it. But anyway, he ate so much that over the years, his body, he's the guy that did the thing on Netflix with against Joey Chestnut. He came out of retirement to Kobayashi. He ate so much over the years that he lost the sensation of being full and being hungry, I believe. One or the other. But I believe it's definitely he doesn't know when he's full. He doesn't feel it anymore. And he's been going through a lot of therapy. And then it kind of pissed me off because he was in his documentary talking about this. And then like 3 months later, he signs up to do that thing with Joey Chestnut. But anyway, it can fuck up your body. Big surprise. Eating 21 pounds of shrimp or eating just a god-awful amount of any type of food. Guess what? FYI, it ain't good for you. It's not. Jesus, people. Is that breaking news? Is that breaking news to you? Hold on. It's breaking news.
Oh my God.
Breaking news. Yes, it's just coming in. Apparently, eating 21 pounds of shrimp is not good for your bowel system. Oh boy. Yeah, it's like birthing a fucking whale after you eat all that shrimp. I feel like this music is a little too loud. Ew, wow. Anyway. So dumb. Don't do that. Don't do that. Seriously, though, all joking aside, imagine driving home with him. You have to have the windows down. I don't care if it's in the middle of winter, a blizzard. You got to have the windows down because that car is going to be hot boxed and not in a good way. It's going to be nasty ass stank. Speaking of stank, a tanker carrying 9,000 gallons of landfill wastewater crashed because the driver was driving like a dick through a construction site. Big shocker. He crashed, spilled all of that 9,000 gallons all over the roadway of this Maine, the state of Maine highway. Disgusting. It was either that, the stench was either that or Joey Chestnut was on his drive down. Could you imagine? Like, we don't know the difference. We can't tell. Either somebody spilled like 9,000 gallons of landfill wastewater, or Joey Chestnut ripped a nasty one going down the highway. My goodness, that's disgusting. The driver is in a lot of trouble because it was all his fault. He was just driving too fast. What a disgust. I feel bad for everybody that had to participate. In that situation, you know what they should make the guy do just to add on to his punishment? Go out there. You guys start cleaning up too. But you don't get a mask. You have to smell your mistake nonstop. Like you spend like 10 hours out there shoveling just nasty ass shit. Oh my God. That's gross. Could you imagine if that was near where you lived? Ugh. It's like living in Commerce City here in Colorado or Greeley. Ugh. If you live in Colorado, you know what I'm talking about. Commerce City has all these manufacturing plants and whatever, plus the Purina dog plant, and it just smells at most of the time as you drive in, especially certain areas. And then Greeley, they have those beef plants up there, and just like all the blood and guts and whatever stench. It's just a horrific smell. That's what I imagine. But those people, if you live up there or in those areas, you're used to that, quote unquote, used to it. You never probably get used to that. If you live in Greeley near those plants and you go down to Denver and you enter in a flooding porta potty, you're probably like, this doesn't smell that bad. Does not smell that bad. Does not smell anywhere as bad as Greeley, Colorado. Ugh. Feel sorry for people up there. Because you can't get used to that. I mean, it might be a little bit like numb to it, but overall you're like, oh God, it's extra stank today. Extra stank. Don't like it. Don't like it. Toni George is a 55-year-old owner of the Scratcher Girls in Miami. She charges $130 for an hour of scratching using her 3-inch manicured nails. So she'll like scratch your back, raking them down your back, your arms, your scalp, even inside your ears. Fucking disgusting. She charges right around $130, 110 to 130. Guys, I can only imagine this is mostly men that go in there. And she's like, well, this isn't a sexual thing. This is just, a relaxing thing. What does she say? It's so euphoric that customers will often drift to sleep or give sounds of ecstasy. That's climaxing. That's what that is. It's not like, oh, it feels so good. It's like, oh, I just creamed my pants. Oh, my shorts are tight. That's what that is. Her services are so popular that she also travels to major metropolitans like New York, LA, Philadelphia to see her clientele. Listen, I feel like good for her. I can't be mad at her. I can't. I'm disturbed by the fucking people out there that spend this kind of money, because I imagine for her to drive out to somewhere or fly out to somewhere to see clients, that she's charging a ton more money, right? Good for her. She's capitalizing on a market that I didn't think existed. I didn't think that there was anything out there that was just like, listen, if I scratch your back for an hour, you give me all this money. I feel like she could charge more for an hour. That's a lot of work for your hands. You can get some cramps in your hands. I feel like she could charge $200 eventually. Yeah, she's getting a base, a base clients out there. Eventually, she's going to be like, guys, inflation. These nails aren't as cheap as they used to be. So we're going to have to start charging you $300 for an hour. Guys are like, that's fine.
Don't worry, it's not sexual.
So gross. She said, we don't scratch chests or bellies. And she said that she once turned down a request from one man to have his nipples touched Come on. Come on. You're going everywhere but the nipple. Come on. Come on. I can see not touching the junk. What's wrong with rubbing the nipples? Woo. And listen, guys, just get your own fingernails. Put them on. I'll save you some money, and you can do that, right? And guess what? You can touch your own junk. You don't have to go there, and you're just like, she takes me so far, but not far enough. Guess what? You can take yourself far enough. You can. You can go all the way. Oh my God. That's creepy. That being said, listen, I have mixed emotions when it comes to long hooker ass nails like that. Because she said, like 3-inch nails. That's fucking gross. But here's the thing. I think nails like that can be sexy. And ladies, when you're rubbing those on a dude's skin, or I guess in some cases like a lady's skin, it's very erotic. It's very ticklish and gets your ooh, type of thing, right? You're welcome. I get it, but they're nasty. Those things ain't clean. It's gross. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole again. Those are just a cesspool of germs. Just gross. I'm sure they change them out per client. You know, you got to get all those fluids out of there, allegedly. Don't worry, though. It's not sexual, okay? It's not. Don't worry. Sir, can you roll over so I can get your chest?
You have a massive erection.
Oh, it's the pants. It's the pants. It's an optical illusion, ma'am. Sorry. My bad. Gross. But good for her. Again, don't have a problem with her business. Don't get it. Don't know how she even came up with it and realized that she could make some fucking money off of it. But she is. I just have problems with the clientele. Science is weird. And obviously that's kind of a generic thing to say. It's weird. I understand that there's reasons for doing studies because sometimes they'll stumble upon something else. And I'm so curious of how somebody came up with this idea. Scientists learned about addiction by giving cocaine to rats.
This is fucked.
It is fucked. My God. Imagine the guy's like, hey, what if we gave cocaine to rats? And they're like, that's a great idea. I got some cocaine. Let's give rats some cocaine. Not for my stash, though, guys, right? No. Scientists just fucking around giving rats a bunch of drugs. Now, I get it. They're learning about a lot of things. As much as I joke about it, it's kind of fucked up, though, that you're giving rats cocaine. We've seen Cocaine Bear. We know what could happen in the movie, real life. That bear just had a heart attack and died. But that doesn't make for a good movie, so it went on a drug rampage. So imagine a bunch of coked out fucking rats running around New York City. Horrifying. So they did 30 lab rats, and they basically trained them to self-administer small doses of cocaine by placing their noses in a specified hole. Each hit of cocaine was preceded by bitter tasting dose of, I don't know if I'm saying this right, quinine. Basically, it's something that is extremely bitter. And some of the rats they associated cocaine with the bitterness, and they stayed away from it. Other rats were like, it's not that bad. We'll do it in moderation. They're just mild cokeheads. And then there's a chunk of the rats that are like, fuck it, I don't care. They're going Donald Trump Jr. on it, like rubbing his teeth. Who else is a cokehead? There's like some other famous cokeheads where you're like, yeah, let's be honest. Oh, Hunter Biden. Isn't he a cokehead too? What's up with the president's sons all being cokeheads? Allegedly. I don't need people coming after me. Fuck. I said allegedly. I have no proof. He's just rubbing his teeth or rubbing his gums. I don't know. I don't know anything about cocaine. But anyway, it's just kind of disturbing. And they're learning from it. It's just still kind of troubling that it just tells you the one, it's fucked up to do that to animals because whatever. But that's how we figure shit out, right? As jacked up it is, it does have a purpose. Sorry, PETA. I get it though. And it's fascinating when you think about it. Just there's essentially 3 different groups that emerged. One that was just like, whoa, I don't like the effect of it. Or the other ones were just like, it's not that bad. I'm going to dabble, okay? Just on the weekends when the friends are over. Maybe if I have a few beers, I'm going to do it. And then the other one's just like, fuck, I can't live without it. They're like, you got any more Coke? You got any more crack? Or whatever it is. Anyway, so yeah, it's just fascinating. And they're learning more about addiction and how to, 1, prevent it, and then 2, hopefully how they can treat it. So it's fascinating. It's kind of fucked up, especially anybody out there that is going through those battles of trying to walk away from drugs like that. I'd be curious to know, like, how do you feel about this? I think the end result is they're trying to find a way to prevent this from happening to the next generation. How can you prevent people from getting addicted to this? But the sad reality is, to go down a dark path is, let's say you cure it so people don't get addicted to Coke or similar drugs like that. People are just going to create something different. That's just the sad reality of our world. But anyway, Cocaine Rat. Look for that in movie theaters coming up next year in 2025. Hey, real quick, listen up, Denver. Remember this name, Game Time PDR. I know some of you got hit by those hailstorms back in May. I did, but guess what? There is a trustworthy company out there that can take care of you. Because let's be honest. Let's be honest. You need to save this name. Maybe you got this stuff fixed back in May. Maybe you didn't. But if you're procrastinating, you know this shit's going to happen again, because that's freaking Colorado. It happens nonstop. And Game Time PDR is a trustworthy company that you can just trust that they're going to take care of your vehicle, which is nice, because there's a lot of companies out there you can't. The team at Game Time PDR is based here, obviously, in Denver. They're very trustworthy. They specialize in paintless dent repair, which saves the integrity of your vehicle and restores the value back into your vehicle. Now, to celebrate the end of hail season and those procrastinators out there, they're offering a $200 gift card just to get your vehicle fixed. Game Time PDR has an expert claim specialist on staff to take those hassles out of dealing with the insurance claims and make it a seamless process. Game Time PDR is also going to pay your deductible up to $1,000, but they need to see your vehicle in order to qualify. They're able to pay your deductible because they work and advocate for the customer first, before the insurance company. Game Time PDR's expertise and experience are unmatched. They have over 30 years of experience in the industry, and they have some of the best technicians on the planet. Call Anthony right now, 303-955-8200. Again, that's 303-955-8200 to schedule an evaluation. It's Game Time PDR, the MVP in dent repair. Sorry, my throat's apparently my voice is still a little damaged from that Bronco game last week. The hell? What the hell's wrong with my goddamn voice? You know what we need to do right now? I think it's time. Let's jump into some sports.
He's walked the hallowed grounds of Folsom Field, Coors Field, and Mile High Stadium.
He runs with the 50. He runs with the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes.
It's time for sports with DeHuff.
This is pretty cool. The college football bowl games have been announced. The Colorado Buffaloes are going to take on BYU in the Alamo Bowl. A lot of people are upset about that, but I think it should be a good game. I want the Buffs to win. I just know that this is going to be a big time battle because BYU is pretty fucking good. But that being said, I don't see why the Buffs can't do it. They got time. They got time to focus in. I know like Shedeur Sanders is winning all these awards and doing great. And either I know that again, like I posted like Travis Hunter, I said I don't think he should win the Heisman, and everybody's like, what other player do you know that could be dominant on both sides of the ball every single game? I'm like, listen, I get it, but I mean, I just like I think that what is it, Ashton Genty is just really, really fucking good. But that being said, I'm not going to be disappointed if Travis Hunter wins the Heisman. Okay, we don't need to go down that path again. But Shedeur Sanders is pretty fucking legit. I think it would be in a weird way. I think it would motivate Travis Hunter to be even more dominant if he didn't win the Heisman. Because if you get acknowledged that, oh, you're the best player in the league or, because you do this, this, and this, it can subtract the fuel to your engine. Whereas if he gets declined the Heisman Trophy, he's going to go out there and be like, you guys fucked up. And here's why. Listen, I'm not saying he's shit. I'm not saying that at all. He's fucking good. But, I'll put this out there. Would you rather have a dominant quarterback, a dominant running back, a dominant receiver, or a dominant defensive back? Me personally, I'd rather have in that order. I would go in that order. I would rather have a dominant quarterback than have a dominant running back. And then I'd rather have a dominant DB over a dominant receiver. But that being said, those last two are kind of like, We saw what happens when you have a dominant defensive back when Patrick Surtain shut down even for just a little bit Jerry Jeudy. Well, they just decided, we're just going to run Jeudy somewhere else and he can just shred over there. That's what happens. They just don't throw at that guy anymore. Well, unless you have a whole a bunch of guys that are dominant in the secondary, it doesn't fucking matter. We're just going to throw somewhere else. Whereas if you have a dominant quarterback, shit, watch out. If you got a dominant running back, yeah, dominant running back can cause some damage. That being said, if you got a good run defense, you're gonna be able to stifle them. Receivers are all dependent on the quarterback. You got a shit quarterback, but a dominant receiver doesn't fucking matter. If he can't get the ball to the receiver, it doesn't fucking matter. So that's kind of the way I look at it. But that being said, I'm confident that when Travis Hunter gets into the NFL, that he's going to do great. Okay? But I have a feeling that Genty is going to be even better, assuming he goes to a good team with a good offensive line. That's the other, I don't know. Listen, guys, it's just fun to think about too. I'm not going to be mad one way or the other. If you think that Travis Hunter is more deserving of the Heisman, good for you. That's fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Shedeur Sanders is fucking amazing. And he's getting, pushed in the back as far as Heisman talk, but he's fucking amazing too. If I'm looking at those three guys and I'm drafting number 1, number 2, and I have a need in all of those spots, who am I going to go with? No offense, I'm not going to go with Travis Hunter because I don't that's kind of a risk to go. I need a guy that can play both sides in the NFL. I don't need that, but I do need a good leader under center. I need a good quarterback. So I'm going to lean towards a good quarterback versus somebody that is good at receiver and is good at defensive back. If I need a good running back and a good receiver or defensive back, I'm probably going to lean towards running back if I have the option. You see what I'm saying? That's the way I'm looking at it. Listen, you don't have to fucking agree with me. You can sit there and, stomp your feet. Some of you guys get so mad. I'm not going to gobble his cock, okay? I know you want me to, but I'm not. I refuse. No, I'm not gonna. Ewy, gross. But again, I'm not going to be mad if Travis Hunter wins that. That's coming up this weekend. That's going to be exciting. I'll be happy for him if he wins. But kind of going back to the BYU game, if Travis Hunter doesn't win the Heisman, expect Travis Hunter to go out and just ball out and see a whole new level of his game that will make people like me go, oh, shit, he should have won the Heisman type of thing. That's what you want. That's what you want. And I think it's going to end up going to Genty. But I think it should. That being said, as much as I think Genty should win it over Travis Hunter, I think Travis Hunter will win the Heisman. But I don't think he should, right? And whatever. It is what it is. Eat a bag of dicks. Eat a bag of dicks. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. So congratulations to CU on going to the Alamo Bowl. But again, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle BYU. BYU is fucking nutty buddy, and they're going to go out there and lay the hammer down. So it's going to be a good matchup. That being said, I think CU can handle their own. And I just, at the end of the day, I hope it's a fucking tight game. Tight game. You got to think, too, this is going to be Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh. Shiloh's happy to be there. He's okay player. But these guys are going to be wanting to prove a point. They're going to want to walk away from the university with their heads held high and say, we just fucking dominated. That's our swan song. That's our, hey, thanks for supporting us. We just got a bowl win. That's what the way they're going to be looking at it. So it'll be interesting. Big news real quick. CSU is taking on Miami of Ohio. I didn't realize Snoop Dogg had the Arizona Bowl. He's the sponsor. It's presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. That's fucking awesome. I don't give a shit if CSU wins or loses. I just think that's awesome. If there's not a whole big play on smoke, like tons of smoke during the game, or as they end, obviously when they enter in, there's a lot of smoke. I just feel like it needs to be over the top, right? Right. That's cool. Good for Snoop. Again, another reason why you got to love Snoop Dogg. He goes, I cannot fucking wait to see the movie all about Snoop Dogg's life, because he is a fascinating human being. He goes from, where he came from. He grew up in the projects, right? I believe so. Had his rap career, did all that stuff, then ends up getting in movies. Then he's like best buds with Martha Stewart. And then he has a kids' TV show, like a cartoon show. He's, oh God, what else has he done? He was, sideline reporter basically for the Olympics. And now he's got a college football bowl game named after him. I'm like, oh my God. He just craps excellence. How cool for Snoop Dogg. So cool. Again, one of those guys that you would just love to sit down with. You have to smoke weed with him, right? If he wants to smoke weed, you're like, yeah, let's go. I don't care if you're a fucking nun. You got to sit down. If Snoop says hey, do you mind if I smoke? That's my Snoop impression. And then the nun's like, fuck yeah, let's go. Sorry. Oh, I just made Catholics mad. I'm sorry. Juan Soto, he's 26 years old. And he just signed a deal, assuming that he clears all the physicals. He's going to make $765 million in 15 years with the New York Mets. That's freaking crazy. The biggest contract in sports history. Good for him, dude. Like I said, he's 26. They snagged him from the fucking Yankees. Yankees fans have to. I don't know. I saw some Yankee fans were like, good riddance. Oh my God. Okay. I guess that's the way to look at it. Time will tell. If as long as he's productive with the Mets, it's a great deal. If he just slides and just becomes unproductive, then yeah, they fucked up. Soto can opt out following the 2029 season if the Mets don't increase his salary from $51 million to $55 million over the final 10 years of his contract. Also, Soto's contract will pay him $305 million, including a $75 million signing bonus in the first 5 years of his deal for an average annual value of $61 million during that stretch. It's just funny money, man. It's not even real. It's fucking monopoly money. Wild. Here's what I posted on Twitter. The Mets are going to do anything they can to try to enhance their product. Good for them. Does your favorite team do that? I know the Colorado Rockies don't. So as much as I want to bag on the Mets, at least they're out there trying to enhance their projects, their product. You know, they're signing Juan Soto, and then they got Grimace out there, the giant purple butt plug, trying to be an inspiration, a good luck charm for their games, and they did well. They did really well this last season. They're trying whatever they can try. They got Grimace out there throwing the first pitch. They had Hawk Tui Girl out there for some fucking reason. They're doing whatever they can to enhance their product and try to bring in new fans and just be better. So as much as people might want to bag on them for doing things a little bit differently and coming out with this crazy fucking contract, he's going to be, what is that, 41 once that shit's done, assuming that he stays with the team. That's wild. Wow. Good for him. Listen, I always say that, like, if somebody wants to pay me a butt ton of money for a contract like that, yeah, whatever. I'll do it. I'm not gonna just lean back and be like, I'm getting paid now. I'm not gonna put in any effort. Actually, I might do that. Never mind. Scratch that. I get a big contract. I'm just gonna half-ass it the rest of the way. Wait. All I have to do is this? Okay, I'm just going to do bare minimum. No more putting in the, extra mile. By the way, Karen wrote this on my Twitter. She said, when is enough? Enough. We have people in our country starving and homeless, yet these guys are getting paid $750 million. Where is the ceiling? There is no ceiling, Karen. That's the sad thing. And it's hard not to look at it from Karen's perspective because it's funny money. You're telling me that you can't have a good product and not pay these guys a stupid amount of money? It's such a joke when you think about it, the lopsidedness of finances in just our country alone. But that being said, Karen, if somebody came up to you, said, whatever you do, whatever your job is or whatever your hobbies are, if somebody said, I'm going to pay you $10 million to keep doing what you do, okay? But you're just attached to me and I'm just going to ensure that you continue to do that. You're not going to turn it down. Doesn't matter what the job is. I know a lot of people are like, this is ridiculous. He could turn that money down, or he could make half of that and the rest of that money could go towards charity or something. Nobody does that. Nobody does that for the most part. For the most part. So, as much as we want to say that it's absurd, if you put yourself in that person's position, are you going to turn it down? I'm going to lean on no. And what's funny is like I could make it just a sliver of that, and I would be like, dang man, this is great. should be looking good right now. I'm feeling good, but I'm not gonna turn that type of money down. And it's only gonna get more. It's gonna be it's everything else around us. We always talk about it. We were talking about that last week with minimum wage going up at the first of the year for a lot of places, Colorado, California, all these places. Minimum wage is going up, but then in turn, in order to combat that, companies are going to increase what the customer has to pay for their product, whatever the product is, if they're affected by the wage increases. And you can't sit there and go, well, they're all about being profitable. Well, yeah, no shit. That's what every fucking business does out there, unless you're a non-for-profit. Otherwise, everybody is out there to gain. If you run a company, aren't you trying to make it profitable in any fashion, in any fucking way you can? Sometimes, well, in this case, it's like the Mets, they're trying to be profitable, and the way they can be more profitable is, yes, they're spending all this money on Soto, but what ends up happening is if they're gambling, as long as he's good enough, they win more games, and they win more games, they can make more money because their product becomes more in demand, and then they can make more money. So they're spending more money, but they're going to get more profit. But eventually what's going to end up happening is concessions might go up. Those will probably be the last things that go up, but merchandise will go up in order to slightly combat that in a lot of ways. I'm not thinking you're going to notice it. It's not like a $35 t-shirt. It's going to be now $85. I really fucking doubt that. But they might be 40. Shit like that. Stuff will go up. It's inevitable. It just, even if they don't sign him, shit's going to go up because that's just the way things work. If you understand that your product is in such demand that people are willing to pay a little extra for it, you just increased it by a couple bucks here and there. You still have the same amount of people coming through and buying your product. Yeah. The only way you think that they're complaining is by boycotting your product. If they're not boycotting your product and you're not seeing a dent in your sales, then you're going to keep doing what you're doing, and that means making people pay more. But at least when you look at it from this angle, is at least the Mets are trying something and bringing in players that they think that can make a difference. The hard part is, what does that leave them left over for other good players on their team? Do they have enough in the bank account essentially to justify paying other guys that they want to keep? Because that's always a downside of, they don't have a salary cap, but like with, like, say, the in NFL, maybe you're overpaying your quarterback a butt ton of money. Well, guess what? Eventually what's going to happen is, after contracts run out, you can't renew them, and you're going to end up having a younger team because you can't afford to keep these veteran players that are deserving to make a good amount of money. Well, you can't. They can go somewhere else and make that money. It's such an odd balance. Hopefully it doesn't bite the Mets in the butt. Hopefully they're successful on it. But in a way, I hope they're not successful, because that kind of goes back to Karen's point is if this deal bombs out, they're going to go, shit, we spent so much money on one fucking player and we couldn't really afford and justify paying our other guys, these other great players. So we had to let a bunch of guys go. And then we fucking scrape the bottom of the barrel. But we have this really high-end guy on our payroll. So in a way, you kind of hope that would teach them a lesson and make it ripple through the major leagues and be like, hey, just because you spend a lot of money on a good player doesn't mean that you're going to have good results. So it's going to be interesting. I don't wish that they fail, but in a way I do, because it is getting out of hand. If he's at $765, even though that are $1 million over 15 years, yes, it's over 15 years, but still it's a significant amount of money. The next big one, it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So eventually we're going to have these $1 billion contracts. Sure, it might be stretched out 15, 20 years or whatever, but that's where we're headed. It's very interesting. But again, I go back to it. Are you going to deny a big paycheck when you go, well, maybe you guys should donate 70% of this to charity or something like that, or whatever you want to do. No. It'd be really fucking hard to wrap your brain around that. I'm sure there's some people out there that could. I couldn't. I would look at my wife and my kids and go, no, I don't know when another opportunity is going to come about. I don't know what obstacles I'm going to run into. So if you can make money, you make money when you can. You got to take that. If all of a sudden Spotify comes up to me and they're like, Duff, we want to pay you $2 million. I know it's nowhere near 765 million. But if they're like, we want to pay you $2 million for a 2-year deal, you just keep doing what you're doing. I'm not going to go, well, what if we just do $1 million, but you take that other $1 million and donate it somewhere else? No. They're going to be like, that's very admirable of you, and you're dumb. No, fuck that. And I'm going to be like, no, I'll take the $2 million. What about 3? I'm going to try to ask for more, right? Right. My goodness gracious. I don't know if I want to do this. I feel like I should. I shouldn't. You know what? I got time to do it. I got it. Let's jump into the... Wait, hold on 1 second. No. Before I get into the mailbag. By the way, real quick, if you're running a business and need help with the back of the house, you need someone that has a lot of experience and is trustworthy. You need the Kirkwall Group. With over 30 years of experience, Richard and the Kirkwall Group understands that you and your business deserve someone who's efficient, timely, accurate, cost-effective, focused on your success, and is working to save you money. Kirkwall Group can help you with your bookkeeping, accounting management services like CFO, controller, accounting manager, projects and support, as well as tax planning and preparation like income, property tax, sales, and use tax. What you need to do, go right now, kirkwallgroup.net, Kirk with a K, and check them out. See everything they can do for you and your business. You can call or email now for a free 30-minute consultation, 833-547-5925. That's 833-KIRKWALL. Or you can email Richard directly at rbaiki at kirkwallgroup.com. It's Kirkwall Group. Excuse me, kirkwallgroup.net. My apologies. Kirkwall Group. We count what counts for you. And you know what we need to do? Jump into the mailbag real quick.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from Seth. Seth says, honest opinion. What are your thoughts on this UnitedHealthCare CEO killing? I was debating talking about this, but I'm going to anyway. I'm sure you saw the news on it. Here's the thing. I don't agree with anybody killing anybody. But when you look at that's a big but, by the way. It's one of those things where you push somebody or a group of people so much and nobody's listening to their screams, to their cries for help. Nobody's listening. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows what's happening, but nobody does anything. You can't be too shocked when all of a sudden somebody pushes back. I don't agree with killing anybody. I don't. But I get it. I understand that they were pushed so far. We don't, as of right now, they don't know who officially did it. What were their reasons behind it officially? We don't know. I don't agree with killing anybody. But if you wanted to look at it from the other side of things, you would say, well, how many people were denied health care? They were denied being able to get a procedure done because their insurance opted to say, well, we can't cover that, or we don't cover that shit anymore. In some way, that has probably affected you or somebody very close to you. It's happened to me. Yeah, we know you're in a lot of pain, but we're just not going to cover it. Not until it gets really bad. Then we'll say, even though the doctor's just like, well, it should be done, but it's not covered. Stuff like that happens all the time. And it's disgusting. And I'm just on the low end of things. There's people that are horribly sick. And when you push and push and deny, I guess a very common word to be used in this conversation is karma. And it sounds disgusting to say because, again, I don't like the fact of what happened. But Jesus, man, it is really fucking hard not to understand why they did it. We have a broken healthcare system. It needs to be repaired. And sadly, this might be, and hopefully there's no more of these situations. Hopefully this jars everybody and goes, oh fuck, what are we doing? We're scamming these people. We're jacking up the cost for this and that. We're living in these lavish homes. We're getting these amazing vacations because we're scamming everybody. Everybody. Hopefully that jars, essentially shakes everybody. This is wishful thinking, shakes them into reality of we're not doing it right. We need to handle things better. We have a broken system. We need it to be fixed. But sadly, I don't know if we're still thinking about this in a month or two as far as we as in the healthcare system. Is this just going to kind of slowly fade away? There's a good chance it is. And that's sad because there's people hurting every single fucking day. They're getting denied for things that they need to survive, for their families to survive. And then these dickheads in the medical field, as far as the health insurance, are just fucking scamming. It's sad. It's sad. It's fixed. It needs to be fixed. But I think it's wishful thinking that this is going to jar people into coming to reality of we need to change the way our policies are being written out and made. I don't like the fact that somebody is deceased, but I get it. I God, it's disgusting to say that, but I get it. Okay. I want it to change. I know it needs to change. I I don't have confidence that it's going to. I don't. Until somebody goes in there with brass balls and just makes it change. And ugh, God, who knows? Anyway, I feel dirty talking about it, but Seth, you asked me, and that's what this show is. I will talk about anything, and I will give you my honest opinion about it. I get it. I don't like that somebody's life was taken, but how many lives have been taken due to the insurance companies being fucking dicks and not covering things, or they cover things and then they jack up the price or whatever. So it's hard to have sympathy. It is very hard to have sympathy. But anyway, if you guys want to interact with the show, I love it when you do. Be like Seth and hit me up on email, dehuffpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on my socials at dehuffpodcast. Thanks for listening or watching. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button as well. Thanks to Kirkwall Group, as well as Game Time PDR, and of course, Bet Online. It's DeHuff Uncensored. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.